I didn't have the pleasure of being a student at Bank Street. I came as a faculty member. And under the organization of the graduate school at the time I came, I was placed in a working group with Dorothy Cohen, Wilbur Rippey, and Virginia Schoenberg. If any of you, and I know some of you have known one or perhaps all three of these people, this was a certain, I would say, very high-powered group, a cauldron of intellectual excitement. And here you had this brand new person coming into the group. I kept a fairly low profile at first and throughout the year, but I learned an enormous amount from these colleagues. I mean, one of the wonderful things about Bank Street to me has been, and I feel it's a true gift, of the colleagues whom I've worked with, students whom I've worked with. There have been colleagues who, it sort of took my breath away at times, the nuanced, beautiful teaching that I had opportunities to observe, or their thinking about certain issues. It was just quite amazing, really. I feel this is an institution that, more than any other I had taught at, encouraged us to really make certain that in our own teaching we were showing what it was that we wanted others to go away with, that we really modeled what it was we were espousing, so that, as Lorraine Monroe in the audience would have said, the talk and the walk are matching one another. And that was a wonderful gift. Not always easy for me, certainly at first, but an incredible gift. Also, I think Bank Street was a place that highlighted intensely the importance of trust in the learning process. Children or adults trusting ourselves in our learning, trusting ourselves in our teaching, and the role of trust in freeing people's energy so they could all be invested in learning, not in a sense of self-protection that could mute or take that learning away in some ways. Also, the notion of building from strength, that these were likely to be the growth points, not simply focusing on weakness all of the time. I also think that, for me, the Bank Street, the ethos of Bank Street, whether we refer to it as developmental interaction approach or the Bank Street approach, is such a vital conception of learning, really. That learner, child or adult, is kept very much in an active interaction with the world, with the social, the moral, the physical world, and the multicultural, varied world. It keeps us, and each side continually is in a certain change process. The world is growing and changing, the learner, child or adult, growing and changing. It's just such a vital ethos, I think, and one that gives us such a wonderful frame for looking at aspects of learning. I'm so enamored of it at times. I went back to a paper by Barbara Biber, written in 1973, entitled, "What is Bank Street?" And in that, and I want to use her language because I like the way she captures this, and because I think it underlies developmental interaction as a philosophy of ands, not either or, but the and. It would be a pity to restrict the growth and majesty of the human mind and spirit to rational processes served by cognitive powers, and we deplore the educational schema where this in fact occurs. In our philosophy and practice, we feel responsible to nurture equally the intuitive processes, the capacity for feeling and emotion, for reflective as well as goal-directed thinking, in order to bring the totality of thinking to its highest functioning. And I feel that sense of all of those aspects of thinking being at work at one time is essential. She also highlights, I think, a part of the Bank Street approach, that we are committed to repeated cycles of innovate, observe, study, evaluate, and revise. So it's an ever-growing approach. We don't need to feel that, to me gives a sense of direction, but without locking us into specific practices. It constantly reminds us of the need to keep creating new practice so that all of us are able to be in an optimum interaction. Also, I see it as an ethos that in many ways brings all of us together. Students, faculty, alums. It's something that is a sort of network that holds us all together in that ever-evolving process. So thank you very, very, very much for this award. I really appreciate this.